get into our next paper and see what the headlines are saying. And that paper is the Nigerian Tribune. On the Nigerian Tribune here, we have a headline from the top here. It says, World Food Day. Nigerians groan over persistent increase in price of food. Seek government support for farmers to boost production. Experts suggest ways to attain food sufficiency. And that headline is on page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. We also see as headline here, FX restrictions removal on 43 items. Policy change will promote orderliness, professional conduct. LCCI, new policy will force down price of cement. Producers speaking. All of the details is on page 7 of the Nigerian Tribune. Right beside that, we see this very interesting headline. It says, reps take delivery of new SUVs. Vehicles are work tools, reps leadership. Page 28 is where you get the whole story. We'll move on to the main headline on the Nigerian Tribune. It says, Bayelsa, Kogi, Imo elections. PDP, LP disagree with APC over INEC's assurance. Opposition parties raise doubt over e-transmission of results. We are still traumatized by February poll experience. LP, trust INEC at your peril. Okorie, Abga, one candidate. We won't accept result declaration not electronically transmitted. PDP. INEC will do what it promised. APC speaking in response to all of that here is coming from other political parties. And page 22 is where you get details of the entire story. Moving on to other headlines still on the Nigerian Tribune, we see here, Kaduna appeal, Obasani, PDP candidate, lists 38 errors by tribunal. We also see here, annual editors, Confab, economic experts to interrogate state of economy. Tinubu expected to declare conference open in Uyo. CSU, Tinubu gives reason why Supreme Court can't accept Atiku's fresh evidence. Tinubu gives reasons why Supreme Court can't accept Atiku's fresh evidence. Alteration in my name well documented, Atiku tells Tinubu. Says revelations at U.S. court deposition tip of the iceberg. All right, page 22 is where the full details of the story is. If you need to know more details as regards the argument between Atiku and Tinubu as regards is the authenticity of his results from the Chicago State University. Or like, let's get into a very interesting headline that I read earlier from the top, and that is about the House of Representatives that have taken delivery of new SUVs. Even though they didn't put the amount those SUVs cost here, they're worth at least 160 million naira. That's a lot of money. And we're talking about reps numbering over 300. That is a lot of money going into purchase of vehicles for these members. But then they have responded and said they are wondering why Nigerians are reacting this way. These vehicles are work tools, and that they need to be very mobile and active House of Representatives. What's your take regarding this story?
It's very shameful. It's a shameful situation that we are facing right now in the country with all this hardship.
Yeah.
And look at it, it's like they are like a thief in the night. They are feeling what is happening. They know that the masses will not be happy. So this news itself is even it's even an insider news because they started sharing the vehicles. The report came out that the women were more like the first recipients, like ladies first. And you see now, even the ladies, they did not open their mouth.
Of course, they are the ones gaining.
Okay, and even the very, let's say, the embarrassing part of all this is that the Labour Party, that is supposed to be the production to consumption party,
they also
and the ones consuming this without making a noise out of it. They have up to 30-something members there, and they don't say any word, and they are collecting these vehicles. That's to tell you how will I say less moral we are in our country, and politicians are like, look at what has happened recently where they are sharing the so-called palliative, that a full-blown community will be sharing one bag of rice.
Quarter bag of rice. No,
Okay.
I saw.
Oh, you saw quarter. I saw one.
What state was that? Kogi State.
Okay.
So an elderly man came out with a quarter bag of rice, and he held it and he was making that video. Was complaining bitterly that he just got this bag from some people that came around and gave him that this is meant to be shared by the entire estate of where he lives or so. Estate that has over 43 families with mothers and wives, children, that he doesn't know what to do with this quarter bag of rice. Is he going to share it with spoons? Or what? Okay, no, which is Dapo Abiodun State? That's
Ogun State.
Is it Ogun State? Yeah, this happened in Ogun State. Yeah, Ogun State. So he was asking Dapo Abiodun, are you saying I should share this with spoons, or what do you expect me to do? I don't know what to do. I want to return this because it doesn't make any sense to me. If you have to share palliative, then share it. If you don't have to share it, don't share it at all. So you see, when it comes to the people, they want to give it out in piecemeal. So when it comes to them, I mean, the amount of money they have spent to buy these vehicles, when we're talking about cutting down on the cost of governance, the amount of money they have spent sharing these, buying vehicles for themselves that they already have. Please, let's be clear about that. They already have existing vehicles that help them to move around, that are not even theirs, that were given to them, when they got there. But they still want fresh cars, as new members. And according to them, they say it is the property of the Senate, so it's supposed to be in use for the period of their reign, 4 years, and then, of course, maybe they say they will remit it back to the government. But how? If that were the case, where are the ones that were used by the former, House of Representatives? Why wasn't it remitted to this set? So that it will at least be used for a period of at least maybe 8 years, and then you renew. So then here we are. We see this happen in every, new intake of, members. They buy very expensive vehicles at the cost of 160 million. That's a lot of money.
And my question is the spending of USD. We do not have these monies, and you are spending it. Why won't the dollar be high against the naira? When you are pulling out this fund, you are also investing in Japan. These are Toyota Land Cruiser. You're also investing in Japan. What then happens to the innocence that we have here, or the not vehicle, the not SUVs or brand that we have here? Why don't you spend the money here if you must buy an SUV? Why don't you buy it from here? And if you go and ask them now, they say, after all, our mates have been using Toyota Land Cruiser. We don't want to use Nigeria product to. It's a very, very embarrassing situation. We are just laughing about these things, but that is the country that we face here. And unfortunately, it's like the hands of the people are tied. The people can't do anything, because it's the same. These guys that have made these laws, they make the laws, they go ahead and empower themselves with these laws. 1,000 minimum wage can't even last most families for a week. And you're talking about spending about 600 and 160 million naira on vehicles. Per vehicle, 160 million naira. It doesn't show that we have true leaders. What we have are people that are out there to just make wealth or recuperate from what they spent. More like they are using that seat of power for business. So I put in this money, I must make sure I get back this amount of money also. And it's very, very unfortunate. Why am I saying unfortunate? For the APC and the PDP, we already know that these parties it's been their track record. But then, a party like NNPP, parties like the Labour Party are not even saying anything. Even their chairman are not even saying anything. It's just so sad.
It's disheartening. You mentioned the pensioners, that I saw a report from the Vanguard newspaper, even though that's not one of the papers we discussed today, where the headline reads, 21 states owe 790 billion naira inherited pensions and gratuities. So you can imagine that people will give their lives of service to these, to the government, either state governments or federal governments, and they have been owed, monies up to 790 billion.
So 790 billion naira. I bet you it is not so far away from 160 billion times over 300 persons.
Yeah.
It's not far away when you convert this money.
160 million.
160 million.
Yes.
Okay. 160 million over 300, and so you find out that you're about 500 plus. So imagine you use that money to pay every. You know the kind of wealth you create within that you've given our fathers, our mothers, their monies that they've worked for. Oh, come on.
Just
so
to conclude on the pensions matter, Rivers State tops the list with 119 billion naira in as part of the money they're owing pensioners. I mean, that's really alarming.
So sad.
119 billion, and we also have Benue State there, and of course other states like Niger State, and of course states within the southwest. Very unfortunate, like we rightly said. I mean, our politicians needs to be more humane in some of the decisions they are making, because it doesn't make any sense to the average Nigerian. This is not a very good time economically for our country. People are going through very, very hard time, and they tell us that they need SUVs to move around swiftly to do their job properly. SUVs to move around, that is worth 160 million naira per one. I mean, there are SUVs that can be bought for 80 million naira and can still do the job. There are SUVs that can be bought for 50 million naira per one that can still do the job. But I mean, we're talking about 160 million naira. That's very, very huge. And this is just one out of the many privileges that are,
By the time you add that money, you add their wardrobe allowance, you add their welcome
and
welcome to the club allowance.
Remember that token the Senate president spoke about? They don't know the amount, but you can imagine that when you add all of that they go home with little token every now and then. Who knows? All right, let's go on a quick break now. Once we come back, we're going to take on our last paper for the day. Please don't go anywhere. You're also part of the conversation, so engage with us by dropping your comments and your reactions on the comment section, and also connect with us on all our social media handles. We'll be right back.
Children's Studio, we certainly can deliver the best studio experience. Our carefully designed studio space can bring your diverse creative content ideas to life. We aim to consistently serve value to our customers far and wide. Come, let Tharv Media give life to your dreams. Tharv Media, a slice of infotainment.